everyone. Welcome to LexTalk.World's talk show presented by Clickaway Creators. Today we have Ms Ojasvita Srivastava with us. She is General Counsel at Securitas for Africa, Middle East, and Asia Pacific region. She oversees the legal function across 16 countries and has been working in similar cross-jurisdictional roles as a business lawyer. She is also the founder of Project Abhimanyu, that is www.projectabhimanyu.in, an NGO that is working towards providing free legal guidance to first-generation lawyers and law students. Thank you so much for joining us, Ojasvita. We are pleased to have you with us today.
Thank you, Prachi. It's a pleasure to be here.
We would be very curious to know about your background, personal and professional both.
Okay, so I am, like you mentioned, the General Counsel for Securitas Africa, Middle East, and Asia Pacific region. We work across 16 countries. It's a Swedish MNC. Before this, I was working as a regional legal counsel at Securitas for the Asia region. And earlier to that, I was with Alliance Communications in the regulatory litigation department. I completed my LLB from VMSL College of Law, Goa, and then did an LLM from Queen Mary University of London. I am a first-generation lawyer. I'm the only lawyer in my family, and I could relate to the struggles that first-generation lawyers in general face in our country, and that led me to starting the NGO Project Abhimanyu, and I hope we can speak more about it as we go along.
Of course. What are the three major aspects of business that you consider most important?
Okay, so I come from a background in litigation and then moved in-house. And I think there was a huge shift between being a litigation lawyer and a business lawyer. And it took me a while to actually get used to it. To begin with, I think as business lawyers, we are more solution-oriented and practical. We are less concerned about what the law says, but more concerned about solving the problem at hand. Secondly, I think business lawyers are more worried about numbers. We start accounting for how, if there are three solutions, which of them would suit me best in terms of my gross margin, in terms of what is my cost, things like that, which as lawyers usually we don't. And then I think in general, lawyers tend to use a lot of words. We don't like to be, very flippant with our words. But as business lawyers, you start learning to be more crisp, more precise. To anybody in a management role for whom time is money. And we start using less of words. We are more crisp, we're more precise. Instead of using 10 words like most lawyers like to use, we start using 2 words. And that is a very big difference from any other lawyer.
Of course, absolutely. That is just wow. What are your aspirations for the legal profession in India?
I would say I see a lot of in-house counsels and I see a lot of senior advocates from India who are working outside India. It could be a regional role, it could be in other countries. But I don't see a lot of Indian law firms working outside India. And I would love to see an Indian law firm establish a regional presence or a global presence. As an in-house counsel, it would be, it would be really great for me if I could depend on an Indian law firm at competitive pricing and great quality of work. Secondly, I think that as a profession in general, we are not very transparent. We're not very systematic. It's very ad hoc. To be very crude, the culture in Indian legal profession right now is pretty feudal. If you are from a legal background, things are a lot easier for you. Or if you come from a background that is well connected. But if you are an excellent lawyer and very hardworking and everything else is perfect, but you don't have any connection whatsoever in the legal profession, you definitely tend to struggle. And even among those who are really good and who do end up becoming very good lawyers despite being first-generation lawyers or despite not having many connections, they tend to take a longer time to get to be where they should be or where they are, mostly because there is a lack of proper systematic training for lawyers in India. Usually in most jurisdictions outside India, we have systematic training contracts, we have trainings that lawyers need to go over a year or 2 years before they become lawyers. But in India, you just have an open book exam, which I think is not sufficient. And there's a gap between what is taught in law school and what's in the profession. So I think that is something also that I would really aspire to improve in the legal profession in India.
Again, a wonderful thought process. And I really hope it happens. You're absolutely right in saying that in terms of law firms and competitive prices. And of course, it being a good law firm as well. So just tell us more about Project Abhimanyu. Our viewers are very curious.
Okay, so like I said, I'm a first generation lawyer, and I did not have a lot of people to guide me on how to go about in my career. And I think as a lawyer, having mentorship or having somebody to guide you makes all the difference. So after my LLM, when I came back to India, I saw a lot of my colleagues who had done an LLM with me struggle. And that's when I thought maybe we should start some sort of a mentoring program. So in July 2015, we started Project Abhimanyu, which was initially only for mentoring. So we would guide students on how to go about their profession. If somebody did, say, a moot court in IPR and wants to make a career in IPR, but has no clue. So we would connect them to somebody who is an IPR expert, and that person could guide the student on how to go about it. We eventually started doing workshops, career guidance. We started helping students out in, in drafting their CVs and preparing for interviews. And now we've also developed a training program for law students and young lawyers to bridge that gap that we have between what's taught in law school and what the profession requires. So it's something like a skill development, both for professional skills and soft skills. So far, I think we've worked with students from more than 80 colleges all over India. We have 70 mentors, and they are extremely senior people. They're law firm partners, general counsels, very senior legal professionals who are practicing independently. So that's a bit about Project Abhimanyu, and you can Google more for more details.
Of course. I mean, we have the website. Again, such a beautiful initiative because you've experienced the struggle firsthand. And you know what it feels like, when you are in the trenches and you need the right sort of guidance.
Very true.
Amazing initiative. And I'm sure that this is benefiting a lot of people, those who want to make their career in this field. That is great. So you know that we all are working from home and currently the situation globally, right? What do you think will be the new normal for the legal profession in your opinion?
I think remote working would become very common, and it's more forced on us than something that should have evolved eventually on its own, organically. But I think, I remember times when there's senior counsel in London and we have an arbitration that we need to brief him for, and we had teams in India that were flying to London just to brief the counsel, not for the actual hearing. So I think those sort of things are completely going to be gone. Everything's going to be remote. Another good thing that's coming out of, and I think should become the new normal, is going paperless. So there is less use of paper, less harm to the environment, in addition to the carbon footprint that we just talked about. And one thing that had been long under discussion, and there was a PIL as well as the Supreme Court, was for video recordings of court hearings and conscription. So around the world, we have a practice of conscription where whatever is spoken in the court by the judge as well as the lawyers is written and recorded. And you can go back to those transcripts and know what happened in the court. We don't have that in India.
Right.
And I think all this Zoom hearings and everything online is going to help go in that direction. And that's, again, something very welcome.
Right, indeed. Now we know that you run the NGO, you really help people who want to be in this profession. What are the 3 best practices that you would like to recommend to our young legal professionals?
I think 3 things that I would say. Firstly, it's very important to make informed decisions. What I see very rampantly in our profession is, especially in the early years of their career, people jump a lot of jobs, go from one office to another, mostly because they don't like what the profession is or what the culture of the office is, I would suggest that before somebody starts at a place, you should get more information. And the best way to do it is probably get into internships and intern, not with the intention of getting a certificate, but more with the intention of assessing a future profession or a future employer. Secondly, I think it's very important to start documenting research. And this is something that was taught to me by my mentor, that whatever you research, you should keep a collection of it. And it definitely helps you like 10 years down the line, when you actually get to do a case on something that you had researched on for a moot court, it's very helpful to have that sort of research at hand. And thirdly is sort of a pain that I want to share that I feel is bringing not very good name to the profession, is that a lot of young lawyers that enter the profession are treating it more as a business, more as a money-making method rather than a profession, a noble profession that it should be. The intention is either to just win a case by hook or by crook, and not have any ethics at all. And I think that's where we start getting bad name for the profession and for lawyers that have been doing great work, but nobody knows about them because the only people that are talking to the media are the lawyers that are, say, defending Nirbhaya. And that's not really all the lawyers across the country, that's not the profession. But yeah, ethics is something that all young lawyers need to have at the core of their, legal profession. I think those three things are very important, and I would, be very delighted if I see young lawyers following these.
Of course, you're absolutely right in saying that ethics should be the core, especially in this business. And I get how the business is, we speak to a lot of lawyers or people in the legal profession. But then I get almost everybody does recommend ethics and honesty, because I think that's just like the founding pillars. If you want success, that is the founding pillars.
Absolutely.
All right then. Thank you so much, Ojasvita, for sharing such great insights with us. It was a pleasure speaking to you. We look forward to having a chat with you again and in the future on some of the other trending topics in the international legal industry, more about your project Abhimanyu. And for our viewers, if you like this interview and if you want to have more coming from the industry leaders, please like, share, and subscribe to ClickAway Creators YouTube channel. This is Prachi for LexTalk.World. Thank you.